Aquro Cloud Actions are an easy yet powerful way to run visual coding scripts and JavaScript codes on our servers instead of on your client side. Running your code in the Aquro Cloud instead of running the code directly in your app has a few different purposes and advantages. Firstly, running advanced scripts may take a long time on a device, which can drain the battery on the phone and make your app slower to use. By running this kind of script in the cloud instead, you can give the app access to much more powerful hardware resources and make your app run quicker. Secondly, by doing data manipulation and selections of data in the cloud instead of in your app, you can reduce the required bandwidth that the app needs to take by making sure that only the required data is downloaded to the device for each action. Lastly, but probably most importantly, by using Cloud Actions to perform tasks on your data, you can increase the security of your app as you won't need to expose as much data to your app as the actions are run. When creating Cloud Actions, you can use any visual coding script, even custom coding blocks. Working with the Cloud Actions is therefore exactly the same as working with visual coding scripts in the rest of your app, making the development of even the most advanced backend services easy to accomplish. In this series of videos covering Aquro's Cloud Actions, we'll learn how to set up, configure, and use Cloud Actions. However, we'll not be going into any details about how to use visual coding, so if you're unfamiliar with visual coding or writing scripts in Aquro, please view the videos that cover those topics. In this video, we'll create a very simple visual coding script that will run as a Cloud Action and that will take two numbers and add them together, then return the result back to our app. Normally, this kind of script would be better run directly inside your app and not in the cloud, as it's not very complex and there aren't any security risks associated with it, but we want to work with something simple for our demo. Let's start by navigating over to the Cloud Actions and creating a new Cloud Action. I'll name it Add Numbers. Then, I'll select it in the list and click Edit. The first thing we should do is configure the parameters we'd like to send to this action. In this case, I'd like to pass numbers to the function. I'll call these parameters number1 and number2. Once that's done, I can head back to the Code tab and edit the actual script. When opening a new Cloud Action script, you'll likely notice that the script is already prepared with two coding blocks. One block for returning that the script has failed, and one block for returning that the script has succeeded. This is very important. If you don't include these blocks in the script, the app will never know when the script is finished and the app will never get any data back from the script. Therefore, the last step of your scripts must always either return a success or a failure. That said, let us build our simple script that will add the value of our two numbers together. We can do this by using the numeric add coding block. When configuring the coding block, you can see that number1 and number2 parameters are available as values for us to use. I'll just map these values into the coding block and then save the result as a local variable. Next step will be to return the sum back to the app. I'll do this by setting the backend return success as our next step. To this block, we can specify 3 numbers, 3 collections, and 3 data objects. All of these values will be sent back to the app. For this example, I could just return the sum as value 1. Now, my script is done and is ready to be used in the app. I'll close the visual coding window and save the action. I've already prepared a page with 2 text boxes and a button. So let's go ahead and head over to the home page and then edit that button. To execute my Cloud Action, I'll use the Cloud Action Execute coding block. First, I'll need to specify which action should be executed, and that's our Add Numbers action. Then, I can specify the parameters that will be sent to this block. As you can see, the parameters I can specify are the number1 and number2 parameters that we specified when we created the Cloud Action. I'll map the values from the text boxes. As you can also see, this coding block returns all values that we could return in our cloud script. Therefore, I'll map the value1 return value to a local variable. Finally, I could use the message show coding block to show the result to a user. Now, let's save our page and test the functionality. And there we have it. We've made the most unnecessarily complex and worthless calculator ever created. But we successfully have a script executed in Aquro's backend cloud and returned to your app. To summarize, we've taken two numbers from our page, sent them to the cloud service, which executed a visual coding script that added the numbers together and returned the sum back to the app. For those needing to build an advanced backend for their app, look no further than Aquro Cloud Actions.